Thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and LEGO just sent me this gigantic LEGO minifigure set that just released on June 1st, 2023 to build and review. This is a really cool brand new set because LEGO has actually done figures like this before, but they've been pretty limited in their release. The first figures of this style that we got were Harry Potter and Hermione just a couple of years ago. You can see them right here. The construction is practically identical. They work the exact same way, but those ones were a little bit more specific because obviously they are specifically supposed to be licensed. Now, those seemed honestly kind of just like a one-off. We didn't really get any more until just this year. We got a brand new gigantic LEGO pirate sculpture. However, the thing about this is that it's exclusive to the LEGO house in Billund, Denmark, which means that the only way to purchase this, it was a minifigure tribute set, was to actually go physically to the LEGO house in Billund and buy it, meaning that it was pretty limited in its release. Thankfully though, LEGO has made a very generic minifigure that they've just basically released fully just standard retail, so anybody who wants to get these gigantic, fully posable LEGO minifigure display pieces can actually get them, play with them. You can see the hands move, the arms move, the head moves, and this one's even hiding a secret surprise. And so, without further ado, let's jump right into the review. Okay, so this is set number 40649, the upscaled LEGO minifigure. It retails for $50 US, 45 British pounds, 50 euros, and 65 Canadian dollars. And this is just so perfect. This is basically a gigantic version of a LEGO minifigure, complete with full-on articulation. You can move the head side to side. You can move the arms back and forth. There's friction in the arms, so you can actually have the arms be moving and actually keep their position, and you can even move the legs, which are fully posable the same exact way an actual LEGO minifigure would be posed. This is just so much fun. And ever since they released the template for this minifigure with the Harry and Hermione buildable figures, I was waiting to know when LEGO would actually make a set like this, which is just a generic LEGO minifigure, and they finally have. The set also has a bit of a surprise. You can see that it includes a standard LEGO minifigure version of the character itself. Unfortunately, the one thing I will note is that the regular style of, or the original style of baseball cap, the one with the flat top, is discontinued. For baseball caps, LEGO now uses this more detailed mold. However, for the large-scale figure, they went with the more classic shape, which is just a fully flat hat with the round dome on the top, so it is not quite the same. It's very similar, but they just decided to go with the classic style, which I think makes the most sense. However, there was a bit of a surprise because lift the hat up and you can see that LEGO is all just one giant mecha anime where you can see that a little minifigure is driving the brain of this larger figure. It is so funny how they actually incorporated that into the build itself, but really, for the most part, what you're paying for is this giant minifigure that is posable, you can play around with it, you can articulate it, and it's just so much fun. Now, I've talked about these minifigures at length before, especially when I reviewed the pirate minifigure from the LEGO House exclusive set, and this, if you've built one, you've basically built them all. In fact, this is the most simplified version of the type of set that this is. Whereas some other sets, like the pirate set, did incorporate some brick-built detail on the torso and have a little bit more complex hat shape or whatnot, and of course the pirate had a peg leg and a hook, and even the Harry and Hermione ones had really intricate brick-built detailed hair pieces. This feels like an invitation to the builders to really be able to try out their own things with the set itself, and to create their own minifigures based off of this design. Now, do not mistake the simplicity of the outside, though, for actually being such a simple build. When I remove the head here, you're going to notice just how complex the interior mechanics of this are, where, as you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and remove these so you can take a look at the inner workings. This is what we are working with on the inside. There are a series of Technic beams which are interlocked, which allows you to mount this entire assembly on the side of the arm on the exact perfect angle that it needs to be. Inside, there are gears which have friction included in them, kind of similar to how Bionicle Generation 2 had friction gear functions, where you can actually move the arms back and forth like so. There's a lot going on here, and that's just the inside of the torso itself. Obviously, it's all covered by one gigantic red panel, but even if you take a look at the way that the legs are built, so let's put the head back on here, we can see, oh, let me just get this piece reattached, there we go. The legs themselves have a pretty complex mechanism where they've actually got a series of LEGO Bionicle style ball joints where you can actually swivel these back and forth, and they are mounted on dual ball joints where you attach them to the hips themselves, just kind of like how you would attach standard LEGO minifigure legs. Like, they just kind of pop on like that, and then you have full posability with dual ball joints acting as friction to make sure that this can hold its own weight. It is a feat of engineering, and I really applaud the designers who came up with this idea. I really hope this sells well, because I definitely feel like there are a lot of different characters they could make out of this template. I would love to see a lot more. You could do Ant-Man, you could do Galactus, you could do all sorts of giant-sized LEGO characters from Marvel and DC, but also in like standard stuff, like they could do a LEGO Ninjago Stone Warrior out of this. I would love to see a 4-armed version of this. That would be crazy. There's a lot of stuff that you could do with this template, and I'm a big fan of the way it comes together. Now, of course, taking a look at the little Easter egg up at the top here, that is a really fun and clever addition. It's kind of a control panel for the minifigure itself, where you can see that you have the standard minifigure driving it. There are a series of gears that kind of imply the technical motion here, like the gears in the brain spinning, so that is a very fun thing, and he has gigantic, comically oversized control levers to control the actions of his large-scale counterpart. Now, the hat, as you just saw, is removable. Unfortunately, that means the head kind of just flat tops off here, because that is just the way that these are built. It's not a big deal, but obviously you can't really display this without the head. I would love to see someone try to come up with a brick-built alternative, though, to actually having the stud on the top. I think that would be pretty cool to see someone try to do that. Otherwise, this just reattaches back on the studs here, and you can see that once you get it lined up, you just pop it back on, and the head is good to go. It's mounted on one of the friction ratchet joints, so you can actually get that articulating with friction. That is totally good to go. And overall, I really enjoyed putting this together, and it was a really fun experience finally building basically just the classic template version of this character. Now, speaking of the price, $50, which is approximately the price that it is across most regions, is pretty fair. It is 654 pieces. It's over 27 centimeters or 10.5 inches tall. And also, this is the exact minifigure that they use as the mascot on the LEGO campus, which is the headquarters of LEGO employees in Billund, Denmark, so that it has an extra added meaning to it for being kind of almost just a traditional icon of the minifigure itself. 50 feels pretty fair. Obviously, you're just getting one big LEGO minifigure, but this actually has a lot of weight to it. Like, this is a pretty weighty boy, and I can definitely see that this is a really nice inclusion to maybe future product lines. I would love to see more large-scale icons made out of this style. It's just so much fun. I don't have that much more to say about it other than thank you, LEGO, for finally releasing one of these that, one, is not tied to a license, and two, is generally widely available outside of having to go to Billund, Denmark to get it, like the LEGO House Pirate Tribute. That's all for this review. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope LEGO makes more of these. Alright, and with that, we have taken a look at the brand new scaled up LEGO minifigure. This is a really nice display piece. I'm very glad LEGO has actually made a generic one to be sold pretty much just normally, no having to go to the LEGO house in Billund or having it be tied to a specific license theme. This is pretty ubiquitous, and I can't wait to see what other scaled up minifigure designs people will make out of this concept. It's a really cool build. Structurally, it doesn't look that interesting or detailed, but the interior was obviously, as you saw, very, very detailed in the way that they actually have the friction and the articulation working. This is a pretty impressive work of engineering, and I'm really happy with it. But of course, those are just my thoughts, so let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the scaled up LEGO minifigure? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Are you going to pick this up, or have you bought this already? And if so, what has been your thoughts on this? Thank you all so much, and bye for now.